You know, in wet and rainy conditions, it can be almost impossible to start a fire, even if you have a good lighter, Swedish fire steel, or weatherproof matches. If the ground's wet, it's very difficult to get a fire started. So we're going to take a look at putting together a fire starter that'll handle the elements, and yet is so easy and simple to make. You know, I've used cotton balls and Vaseline for a long time, and I've looked at every conceivable method to make these things, and there are a lot of different options. A lot of guys will take a little pot, melt the Vaseline, and then drop their cotton balls in it, soak them in it, and while that really saturates the cotton ball, sometimes they get to be hard to light with a Swedish fire steel because there's no cotton. But one of the things that also is a danger is if this pot gets turned over, especially on a gas stove, you could really have a fire, a major problem. And this also takes quite a bit of time. But one of the fastest and simplest ways I've seen to do this, in fact, my buddy over at Reality Survival, JJ, had this illustrated on one of his videos, and this is incredible. Now, one of the things I want to mention though before I get started is these are 100% cotton, and you need to make sure that they are. A lot of times they'll make these now out of synthetic material, but you want to get the 100% cotton balls. The first thing you do is take your bag and go ahead and turn it inside out. Of course, you can use a different, bigger bag. This is kind of a narrow bag, but I like this for what I like to pack it with. Then take your hand and put it on the inside, which is really the outside of the bag, and go ahead and get a liberal amount of Vaseline on the inside, and then turn the bag back inside out. I like to go ahead and just spread that Vaseline on out. Then take about 10 or so cotton balls and drop down in it. Once you get it in, I go ahead and just seal up the bag to a certain point, but I want enough air to be able to come through. And then just take those cotton balls and mix them in with the Vaseline. You'll want to manipulate the balls to be able to get down into it. Some, of course, will get a little more than others, but if you spread it around enough, get a fairly even amount. It doesn't take a lot of Vaseline to really get these cotton balls going. And then once you get it, go ahead and seal it up. Take your Ziploc, and then you're ready to go. Put that in a pack, and these will burn about 10 minutes, each cotton ball. So you've got a really good fire starter here, especially if you have wet conditions. And you know, that's the hardest time when it's damp, it's been raining, or it is raining, is to be able to really get a good fire started. And this will do it for you. Then you still have plenty of cotton balls and Vaseline to do more projects. Regular cotton ball, as you can see, it burns pretty fast. And that'll be a decent fire starter just in itself. Here's one of the Vaseline fire starters. Now, take the Vaseline cotton ball and go ahead and spread it out some. And what that's going to do is going to open up some of the cotton fiber. And once you get that, what a big difference. So for just a little bit of extra work, you really have a Class A fire starter. This will typically burn for about 10 minutes, and that gives you a lot of extra time. That other cotton ball by itself, which is just now just a little bit of char, went for about 2 minutes. This will really get your fire going. Now, if you're working with a Swedish fire steel, you're going to have a little more trouble if you don't open up the cotton ball. It has a hard time igniting. So again, pull it out, let some of those cotton fibers open up. And then immediately it catches right up. I think that's one of the problems you're going to have if you soak these cotton balls completely, because it's going to take away all the dry fibers in the cotton ball. Man, that's beautiful. That's pretty inexpensive to do this. And the Vaseline I bought at Walmart, it was $2.32, and the 200 count cotton balls were $1.88. So for, you know, about $4.50 or under $5, you have a huge supply of fire starting, and a lot less expensive than going out and buying commercially made available fire starting. And this is something you can continue to make if you put a supply back. With just a little bit of effort, having the right tools at your disposal at all times really helps and aids you in survival. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. You know, in really wet and rainy conditions, even with a lighter, matches, or Swedish fire steel, it can be very